Hi guys, so this video is all about volume. So just a few things to talk about first is we can tend to think that being heard, being audible in the theatre is about talking really loudly and shouting so people can hear you. But often when we're doing that, we're doing exactly that. We're shouting and it's an assault to the ears. So what we're looking at is good breath support, a voice that is clear articulation, clear enunciation, and that projects rather than shouts, that is forward in the mouth, that fills the space, but doesn't have to shout to reach people. So there are a number of factors with this. Breath support is key. Getting the sound forward in the mouth, because if it's back here, it doesn't travel as easily. Using our resonators, if the voice is resonant, it's fuller, it travels more. So you want a sound that's coming out here, you're sending the sound forward, you want a sound that's resonating through your whole body, and you want to really use your articulation and the shape of your vowels to make the meaning crisp. So if you're articulating badly, it doesn't matter how loudly you're talking very loud and people still can't hear you. But you can talk quite a lot quieter, and if your articulation is really good, people will hear you. What's also interesting to know and remember is that sound travels. So I speak, it's traveling all this distance to reach the phone's microphone. It does it very quickly, but nonetheless it travels. So if you want to go quieter in theatre, you need to speak slower because it's taking each sound longer to reach people's ears. And so if you are speaking slower and you're articulating well, they have more time to register each sound and to hear you. So you can go very quiet in theatre, but you need to take it slowly, and you really need to make sure that all of your consonants are very crisp. So it's useful to think about how we play with sound in this way, that it isn't about, as you often have, shout to the auntie in the back row. It's about how you play with your articulation, with your speed, with your breath support, with your resonance, with where you place your voice. So you're not having it back in the throat, you're getting it forward here, in the front of the mouth, and how all of that starts to give you a sound that's audible and beautiful and interesting. So volume is very fun to play with. So we're going to do some exercises. This video is probably going to be a little shorter than the others, just because the exercises are quite simple and there's only so many I can take you through. So we're going to start with just counting. And I want you to put your hand in front of your face. You're just going to count 1 to 10, just so your hand can hear you. I'm going to do it in profile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you're going to count 10 into something that's just sort of about there in front of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you take it a little bit further. I'm going to count to that wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you're going to take it further to say the middle of the room, or the far end of the room, quite far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then, if you can see the outside from where you're standing, project to a point outside. If not, imagine you're standing on the street, you're on one side, there's a whole road, and you're projecting to the other side of the road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you're going to imagine that you're projecting far down the street, like about a block at least. And don't shout, but think of growing the resonance, slowing it down, articulating, making the sound full, getting it forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then you're going to think about you are on a mountaintop and you are speaking to somebody on another mountaintop. And the sound will travel, but you are throwing it towards them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it's fun. What's also useful to play with is the sense of what it is to throw your voice. So I want you to play a little exercise where I want you to imagine again that you're standing on a mountaintop and you're just calling to someone, and it's easy. They're over there on the mountain, there's this big valley between you, and you're just calling, hey. And don't think about shouting, just let it be free and hey! Hey! Okay, and then I want you to, having played with that call, to then take that into text and call some of your poetry text. So for example, hey! When I do count the clock that tells the time. And then I want you to speak it normally, but as if you're speaking to a full auditorium, but still with that sense of calling, with the memory of the calling, even though you're speaking it normally. When I do count the clock that tells the time. And then you go into your next line. Hey! And see brave day sunk in hideous night. And see brave day sunk in hideous night. Okay, you get the idea. Go through your whole poem. Make sure your voice doesn't get sore. If it gets sore, you're pushing too hard, bring it back. Drink some water, do a Y buzz, play with the volume again. Okay, once we've done that, I want you to work with... Sorry guys, I've just lost my train of thought. So it was calling, then right. Then I want you to take your poem and I want you to work with moving through different volumes. So you take one line and you do it very quietly. And then you take another line and you do it medium. And then you take another line and you do it in a full voice. So it would go, for example, like, when I do count the clock that tells the time and see brave day sunk in hideous night. Okay, so you measure it like that. Once you've done that through once, you go back and then you just start doing with individual words. When I do count the clock that tells the time, and play with a different volume. Try, I know I was doing it a bit, try to not get your elbows and your forehead, your eyebrows and your forehead involved in it. Okay, then once you've done all of that, I want you to go through your whole poem once, just doing it very quietly and very slowly with very good articulation. And then go through it again and do it as if you're calling it across the mountain to someone, the whole poem. And then let it all go and just speak it as if you're performing it and see what comes out of it. What is also then a really great exercise to do is to come back to that 1, 2, 3, 4 and just do that with your poem. Speaking to here, speaking to there, speaking to there, speaking to there, speaking to there, speaking to as far away as you can. Okay. And what you're wanting to play with, there are two things that are happening here. So you're playing with how you can use volume to create different kinds of emphasis and effect, but you're also understanding what kind of volume is necessary so that when you're speaking at close range, you're not overpowering someone with your voice, but when you need to speak at far range, you can really reach them. Okay, good luck, have fun.